Hello everyone, this is Ijoma O'Neill again, and first of all I want to thank you for the comments, the shares and the likes. Thank you for doing that for us. But straight to today's topic, I want to talk about the seasons of life. One thing I have realized is that a lot of people lead their lives without a clear direction or plan as to where they want their life to end or the outcome of their lives. There's some people who believe that everything should be left to God. Well, God puts us in charge of our lives, and so He expects to walk through us to achieve the things that He has predetermined to achieve through our lives. In Psalm chapter 90 and verse 12, the Bible says, "So teach us, Lord, to number our days, that we may apply our hearts to wisdom." So David there in the Psalm was saying, God, help us schedule our time here on earth so that we will apply our hearts to wisdom, or in other words, do what is wise per time. For you to do what is wise per time, you must understand the season that you're in. Now, seasons are periods of time that are favorable to a particular activity. For example, if it is rainy season, you don't even need to pray for rain because the rains will fall themselves. And if it is the dry season, as we call it here in this part of the world, you don't need to pray for sunshine because it will come naturally. The problem people have is that once they have missed their season because they're not wise to apply themselves, they begin to ask for certain things that are not consistent with that season, and there they require a miracle. First of all, just as it is in the natural, so it is also in the spiritual. In the natural, we have 4 seasons. Just like you have in a whole day, 4 periods of the day. You have the night, you have the morning, you have the afternoon, and you have the evening. So also in the seasons, we have the winter, then followed by the spring, and then you have the summer, and then autumn or fall. Now, if you understand seasons, then you'll be able to take advantage of each period, because each season is an opportunity that nature gives to you, or that God gives to us, that is favorable to a specific activity. The problem is, if you are not working in sync with the seasons of life, then you have to require a miracle, or you work effortlessly and achieve little or no results. So it's very important that for anything you want to achieve in life, whatever God has called you to do, you must start from the season of preparation. Let's say that is winter. The winter is usually cold, and that's the season of planning and preparation. If you have planned appropriately and you have prepared properly, then the next season that comes, let's say that is spring now, is the morning of your life. Spring usually is the season for planting. But when you plant, you should understand also that you have to prune so that you get away the weeds. So only those who have prepared and planned properly will take advantage of the springs of their lives, and then they'll be able to plant that which they have prepared for, and then they'll begin to prune what is not supposed to be there. And once you have done that effectively, the following season will be the season we call summer. Well, that season, which is the third now as I have outlined them, is a season for plucking and preservation. So look at it again. Only those who have planned properly and prepared will be able to plant at the appropriate season and then prune out the weeds or the things they don't expect to be there. And those are the ones who will take advantage of the third season, which is summer, to pluck, which is harvest, to pluck. But they don't only pluck, they don't only harvest, you also have to preserve, because life runs in circle. And you know that the seasons will continue again. And if you eat everything you've got, you'll not be able to pass anything on. The final season actually, which here is fall in my own analogy, is the season for passing it on. So I take it over again. You must plan and prepare appropriately, knowing what you want your life to turn out at the end of your life, and then you must glide into the next season, which is to plant, and then you prune in that season, and transition into the third season, which is for plucking and then preservation, and then the final season you'll be able to have something to pass on. This applies to your life cycle, it applies to development of your career, it even applies to the growing of your faith. A lot of Christians who are forever growing and never realizing that they have mastered certain things. And for them to grow beyond that place, they'll have to apply themselves. See, while I was calling to the ministry, I realized that God had set me on a course and I have to have a concrete plan. And so I had a 40-year plan broken into 10 years in 4 phases. And so for the first phase of my spiritual development, it was for planning and preparation. And there I was under a ministry, being under the tutelage of the ministry, and I learned and grew there, knowing that I've been called into ministry. But once that season was over, it was the first 10 years, I had to make the transition to the next season, which is another block of 10 years. Here I had to plant whatever it is, the ministry, the family, or even the business that God has put in my heart. Now, the problem people have is that most people who go into planting have not planned, they have not been prepared. So yes, they are called, but they have not been trained, and so they're not going to be effective. They're going to have challenges because they're not ready for what they have entered into. And so from that season, the next season of my life becomes, which is what I'm transitioning into right now, it becomes the season for plucking and preservation. Now, many people will see you in the harvest of your life and not realize what you have gone through. And they just want the harvest without going through the process. I don't want to go to something too long, so I'd like to stop here. But what's important is that you must realize that there are 4 seasons and you must take advantage of them. So the night of your life, each new day begins in the night. The night of your life, which is the winter season of your life, is the period for preparation. Nobody knows you're preparing, you're planning. And so nobody's seeing you, you are in the dark. But when the morning comes, most people think that a new day begins in the morning. No, a new day begins at night. Once it is past 12 midnight, it's a new day. But when the morning comes, you must be prepared so that you take advantage of the morning. And if you don't take advantage of the morning, then when the sun shines in the afternoon, you have nothing to celebrate in the evening, and it's a wasted life. Many times when you see people who are in the twilights of their years, and they have nothing to show for it, it's only because they have wasted the previous seasons of their lives. And there are some well-meaning, good-intentioned people who also fall into this category, not because they're bad people, but they didn't take advantage of the seasons. And that's if they even know that they are supposed to take advantage of the seasons. In life, you must think like a farmer. You have seeds, which are your abilities and potentials, and then God gives you the seasons, but you must take advantage of them to make the most of them. I'd like to stop here. I want you to add your voice to it. Bring those comments, those likes and shares, and let's spread this message. Thank you so much for listening. May God bless you.